I want to introduce you to the Wheel of Expectations. I have a very complex piece of equipment here to assist us in getting around the league to some of the most compelling stories. It's a red button. I put my hands over it in the tradition of press your luck, and I go, bang! And then it spins the wheel. We land on a player, and these guys talk about not just that player, but his team as well.
Oh.
I'm hitting the button right now.
That a boy, Tone.
I might have rigged it to land on Connor Bedard. I'm all in on this kid, his mental makeup, the way he plays. Can't miss, gets thrown around often. Doesn't he deserve that kind of hype, Weeksy?
He does so far because he's shredded every level that he's competed at to this point. And his ability to shoot the puck is very unique. But it's not only that he's a shooter in only one dimension. He can pass, he can make plays, he opens space for his teammates, he can thread needles. But his main calling card not only is his shot, and he has an elite shot and he can sling it in different ways each.
You talked about the prior level that he played at, and in the Western Hockey League, which can be a pretty competitive league, especially for young players like Connor Bedard, he had 143 points in 57 games.
Wow.
So that's a lot. Yeah, he's going to be an interesting player to watch this year. He's certainly going to be on everybody's radar to see how he kind of makes this transition to the National Hockey League. I will say this is a hard league. And there will be people that want to test him on this in this league, and he's going to be on a team where, yes, he has a little bit more support than maybe some of the Hawks players had last year, but it will be a challenge in year one. I mean, we've seen Jack Hughes, for example, right? His first year in New Jersey. Probably a year too soon for Jack Hughes to be in the NHL, but look where he is now. He's a huge star. So we'll see how things play out for Connor Bedard, but clearly this kid is going to be a force in this league in years to come.
Let me put you guys on the spot. Point total for Connor, not the Hawks, but Connor, a realistic level of expectation given the points EJ just made.
I'm going to say 70.
Okay.
Because when I played in Tampa, we had two great young players, really three, Marty St. Louis, Finley Cavier, and Brad Richards. But Brad Richards was somewhat unheralded at that time, who went on to have an amazing career. And he had, if I'm not mistaken, he had 65 points his rookie year. And he played like a veteran. So I'm going to say Connor Bedard, maybe a little more ice time, a little more freedom to make plays. I say 70 points.
You know what's funny? You read my mind. I was honing in on 70, but I'll go maybe 5 points higher even. I'll say 75 because he's going to play. You would think he's going to play in all these situations. I guess the key again will be health. Is he going to be able to stay healthy throughout the season? I don't think the Chicago Blackhawks are going to be threatening for a playoffs when we come down the stretch of the season, but I think it'll be a very interesting year. And I do like what Kyle Davidson did, going out and getting Taylor Hall and getting Foligno and getting Corey Perry to kind of come in and help him, veterans who really understand what it's about to play in this league.
We talked about midseason form. Our statistician,
Benny Seltz.
Brad Richards had 62 points.
Oh, okay.
And was a Calder finalist. So, thank you, Seltzy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I stand corrected.
Back to the Wheel of Expectations. I have my hands poised over the big red button. I hit it.
Let's go.
And we go. Oh, I love the sound effects. The wheel stops on Matt Duchene. Okay. How about Matt Duchene? Expectations for him?
I think this is a really good acquisition for the Dallas Stars. And number one, he's familiar with the division because he was just playing in Nashville. So he's familiar with the Central. Number two, he's a skilled player. We know that. And he's coming to a team where he's not going to have the weight of expectations for his production. This is a very good Dallas Stars team. They're very well coached. Jim Nill and the staff do an outstanding job. Jake Ottinger's a stud goalie. My man Jason Robertson's one of the best players in the league. They arguably have the best line in the league. You can make a case for. And now he slots in on a real sweet all-OHL line, that third line. Tyler Seguin is healthy. I love what Mason Marchment brings to the table. I think there's going to be space for Matt Duchene to be a very good support contributor to this team.
I completely agree, and you would think that after you get bought out, there's a little bit of let me show you from Matt Duchene moving forward. The Dallas Stars, we talked about it a lot last year, guys, right? Where was the secondary scoring coming from? So this year, Wyatt Johnson in his second year, maybe Logan Stankoven makes the group. Maybe Maverick Bourque is part of it. They got some good young players like those two coming. But Matt Duchene is certainly a proven guy that can put up points and score goals in this league and help you in a variety of areas. And I love your point, Weeksy. He is not the focal point there in Dallas. The focal point is Robertson and Hintz and and to a little bit of a lesser degree, the old veteran Joe Pavelski. So I think it was a great move by Jim Nill, and I think he'll be a good fit.
And the best thing about Matt Duchene, as I've told him personally numerous times, when he's going, he establishes a shot and doesn't just look for the pull-up plays. Now you've got Tyler Seguin who can drive the playmaking. You've got Mason Marchment who can open up some lanes, be physical in and around the net, which sets the table for him on a velvet pillow to get some shots. So that's what I'm curious to see.
Peter DeBoer, he wins. Where he goes, he wins. Perhaps this could be their year. Back to the wheel of expectations. I hit the big red button.
Okay.
And who does it land
You hit it
on?
hard that time, Tom.
Hammered that.
I did. I'm ready. I'm ready to drop the puck. Oh, Ryan O'Reilly, former Conn Smythe winner with the Preds. How about the fit, the expectations for him in the club?
I love the fit. I think the Factor, which is his nickname, I think the Factor will be a really good factor. I feel he's going to bring a lot of what Mike Fisher brought to that team over the years. The leadership, he's going to be good on the faceoffs, good in the penalty kill, do a lot of those little things well. He'll chip in offensively. And remember, Nashville brought up a lot of those young kids last year down the stretch that played very well.
Yeah.
You need, as you just said, you need to have, with Connor Bedard's case, you need to have young players surrounded by veteran players that have done some things in the league, that are highly respected in the league, that could show them the way. Give them the NHL playbook 101 on the ice and off the ice, and I think he'll have a big impact on some of the youngsters like Evangelista in this group.
Yeah, Novak came in last year and played very, very well for the Preds. Remember, he was in St. Louis for many years, helped them win a Stanley Cup, same division, kind of same region, really. It's a culture change in Nashville, right? So it's what Barry Trotz wanted to do. He's come in as the new general manager. He was able to trade Ryan Johansson, had to eat half the money, bought out Matt Duchene. That tells you that he wanted to shake things up there. So he brings in Ryan O'Reilly, who is a guy that has won, can do all the little things to help you in games. And so we will see how it plays out. I'll be curious. You got Andrew Burnett there, a new head coach there in Nashville. I'm not so sure, but let's wait and see with the Predators. I think that they're fortunate in the Central Division. There's opportunity there, kind of behind Colorado and Dallas.
Yeah. There's not as much strength and power in that division as there
was
once
2 or 3 years ago.
Right?
Yeah.
And that high-end balance that we used to see in the Central. So this is an opportunity, I think, with my man Andrew Burnett behind the bench. They're going to maybe try to open it up a little bit more, play a bit more of an up-tempo game, which Barry Trotz, ironically, coached the exact opposite way.
Yeah.
But to his credit, he's recognized, hey, we want this to be our new identity in Nashville. We want to play on our toes. Absolutely.
And I will say one other thing for John Hines, who coached it last year. They had a ton of injuries. They traded away guys down the stretch. And remember, the Nashville Predators, they pushed right to the end of the season.
Yes, they did.
With UC Soros in goal. So John Hines will probably get another opportunity down the road, but he did a really nice job. And those kids responded. We'll see how they do with a new coach and some new teammates.
I get one more spin at the wheel.
All right,
Here
go.
Here we go. Yes, I love the sound.
Oh, that's a delayed action.
Where am I landing? Where am I landing? I'm landing on
that wheel,
Kevin Hayes. No whammies. How about him with the St. Louis Blues? Expectation level for him and that team, Weeksy.
I like Kevin Hayes going to St. Louis. I think he's going to be challenged in St. Louis, but I feel he'll be supported in St. Louis. He's a big body. They like some bigger players in their group. They have some young, dynamic players, of course, in Kyrou and Thomas. And don't sleep on Vrana. That guy's going to fill the net.
Yeah.
And he really assimilated very well. I really think with Kevin Hayes going there, playing his style of game, St. Louis isn't the fastest team. Kevin Hayes isn't a burner, but he's a puck possession machine. He's a wizard in terms of setting up other players, distributing the puck, making little plays in tight spaces with his long stick and his reach. I think he's going to be a nice fit there. I really do.
Well, it was a year of some tough love for Kevin Hayes last year with John Tortorella in Philadelphia. It's a rebuilding situation there in Philly. He comes to St. Louis. They're trying to retool on the fly a little bit here. Craig Berube, much like John Tortorella, he is going to want Kevin Hayes to play a certain way. So we will see if he can kind of fit the mode there. I think for the St. Louis Blues, beyond Kevin Hayes, I just wonder, is the defense going to be better? Is the penalty killing going to be better? And is Jordan Binnington going to be more consistent? I mean, all those things have been problems. There were certainly problems last year when the Blues kind of fell off the table. So we'll see if they can kind of regroup this year. And a guy like Kevin Hayes should give them a little bit more depth through the middle.